Support for WYES is made possible by Mary Lou Kristovich in memory of her husband, William Kristovich.
Good evening, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Susan Larson, host of The Reading Life on WWNO Radio. Welcome, Ms. Susan.
Hi,
Great
Peg.
to see you. Hello,
Thanks.
always. Poppy Tooker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio itself. Good to see you. Okay. And yours is on twice a week too, we should point out, right? And we're so glad that she's with us. She's making her Steppin Out debut. Children's book author Kathleen Schrank here to discuss the launch of her new book, A Dog Steals Home, and also about something special happening at City Park. Yay!
That's right.
Very
That
good.
is right.
You bet. And the list is long. Co-founder, executive and artistic director, and conductor of the Jefferson Performing Arts Society. Here to discuss the current production of Tarzan the musical. Great to see you. And you are certainly within tune of our,
It's
of our
me
holiday.
birthday.
Happy birthday
Thank
too.
you.
Yes, indeed. And Alan Mason will return next week. But first up, Poppy.
Well, anybody who has been watching the cocktail scene knows there's a very special bartender who was a bartender, a famous bartender, before there were famous bartenders, and that's Paul Hastings. And I walked into Tujague's this week, where he spent 15 years behind the bar at one point, and Paul is back on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So if anybody's been missing Paul Sazeracs, he's there. Go see him. And then there's such big things. My goodness, I think everything happens in March now, don't you? Next weekend, John Besch's Foundation, the Fête du Chef, is coming up. It's going to kick off on Friday night at the Fête Fest. And this is going to happen at Generations Hall. There's a stellar lineup of local chefs, including Isaac Toops, Ryan Pruitt, and Alex Harrell, who are going to all be dishing up delicious things, an open bar, and music from the Brassaholics. Then, Wednesday night, there's another wonderful thing to do. Noka is having a March Magic dinner with Frank Brightston, and goodness knows if anybody can make magic in the kitchen, it's Frank. This is going to take place at Noka's Press Street Station, as I said, Wednesday night. A cocktail reception first with char-grilled oysters, and listen to the rest of this menu. Crawfish bisque, and that'll be the real thing, with crawfish cala and jalapeno cornbread. A duo of baked oysters, one with oyster dressing, Romano, and truffle oil, and the second with crawfish, mushrooms, and leeks. Then the entree is blackened redfish, which is very interesting because Paul Prudhomme did the first piece, and as Frank says, he was working there at K. Paul's. He did the next like 10,000 pieces. So this is going to be the real thing with a pesto crawfish sauce, roasted Yukon Gold potatoes and white asparagus, and dessert is tres leches cake with Ponchatoula strawberries and chocolate whipped cream. Oh, that wicked Frank. Then Thursday night, there's more fun, and this is the first ever Top Taco Festival. It's going to take place on the Paddle Wheeler Creole Queen. It's a judge taco competition where there'll be 40 top New Orleans restaurants competing. There's going to be 40 tacos, 24 spirits, including a lot of tequila, entertainment by Los Pobrecitos, a curated silent auction featuring one-of-a-kind packages, and laser tags, and tickets start at $65, but at $125 at the VIP level, you have access to the VIP lounge featuring some exclusive culinary creations from 10 different restaurants, and this is what I love, a Patron XO infused dessert station from La Boulangerie and Laurel Street Bakery, and it will all benefit One Heart NOLA. But I'm all about some tequila dessert.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Ms. Poppy. And we look ahead in just a few days Twice, Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival. Miss Susan.
I know.
The
Here
list
we
is
go
long.
again.
Yeah.
31 years. Isn't that astounding?
It is astounding.
And you have been to all of them.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
And 14 years for Saints and Sinners as well. I
yeah.
mean, this is the little festival that could this weekend. It's grown so much over the years. And one of the things I love the most about it is that you can get up close and personal with writers you admire. You can really have an exchange. You can get your book signed. You can ask a question. It just means so much. And one of the great things you can do is go to a master class, which I know you have done. And then you spend an hour in a smaller group with a great writer. And some of the writers for the master classes this year are extraordinary. Humorist Roy Blunt Jr., the great Rick Bragg, of course, whom we all love, Pulitzer Prize winner Robert Olin Butler, Dick Cavett, who doesn't love Dick Cavett, playwright Lisa D'Amour, columnist Amy Dickinson, book club selection Wally Lamb, I love him, and Pat Maney, the presidential biographer. And this year is particularly exciting because we have so many writers with new books who are bringing them to the festival. And we're early on in these book tours, which is so exciting. And one of them is Jamie Attenberg, who is a part-time New Orleanian now and who's written a wonderful book called All Grown Up about a 39-year-old New Yorker who's trying to adult as best she can. And I love this book. She'll be talking about family and fiction at 1 o'clock on Saturday. And she's going to lead a panel, be part of a panel on literary activism at 4 o'clock on Saturday. She is one of the people who organized that huge Writers Resist reading in January that was so inspiring. And she's talking about the kinds of conversations we need to be having in these challenging times. Patricia Bosworth, you might know her as an actress, from the Nun story, Audrey Hepburn's best friend. Or you might know her as a biographer of Montgomery Clift. Jane Fonda, Montgomery Clift, Marlon Brando. I mean, she has done it all. And now she's writing her memoirs. So her book is The Men in My Life, a memoir of love and art in 1950s Manhattan. And she has had some interesting men in her life. Lee Strasberg, Elia Kazan, Marlon Brando, and of course she knew Tennessee Williams. So that will be really fun to hear about. She is at a panel on memoirs Saturday at 11:30, and then, oh, what a time it was, New York in the 70s.
What a good
That's
idea.
Saturday at 2:30. That's going to be great. I love the way we can define New York by decade like that. It's always so interesting. And then, and this is one of my personal favorites, Jack Davis, who teaches at the Florida State, whichever one's in Tampa, and he teaches environmental history. And his book is The Gulf, The Making of an American Sea. And this is the best book I've read this year, truly, about our whole region. He goes back to the very beginning of the Gulf of Mexico and goes right up through the BP oil spill, covers the whole region. You learn so much about where we live from this book. I just love it, and beautifully written. And then it's like Davis and Davis. I mean, because both these writers are on a panel Saturday morning, compelling nonfiction. Miriam Davis has taken on one of the oldest stories in New Orleans, these murders that have haunted the city for now almost a century. And her book is The Axeman of New Orleans, The True Story. Now, you may know it from American Horror Story, but this is a little more fact-laden. So, in this day of alternative facts, she sought out some real ones. And she'll be on a panel Saturday at 10 a.m. And then Amy Dickinson, such a charmer, comes to New Orleans every year to write for a little while, writes such wonderful books. And her second memoir is Strangers Tend to Tell Me Things. I just love that. A memoir of love, loss, and coming home. And it is, a follow-up to The Mighty Queens of Freeville. She's teaching a master class Thursday at 2:30. You can bring her your problems, and maybe she'll come up with an answer.
Ask Amy.
And ask Amy, exactly. And then she's on the memoir panel on Saturday at 11:30. And also, so many of our writers have been up for awards lately. It's been really spectacular to see them getting so much recognition. Bernice McFadden, who teaches at Tulane University, she's going to be part of a panel that's a conversation about race. That's Saturday at 2:30. And she just won the NAACP 2017 Black Image Award for her wonderful book, The Book of Harlan. So she won that award in fiction. And she is an astonishing writer who's written many, many books. And then 2 of our young Louisiana writers are up for Lambda Literary Awards, which are the most prestigious awards in gay literature. And they are Matthew Griffin, who's written a stunning book called Hyde. He teaches at Tulane as well. And Martin Hyatt, who's a Louisiana native, and his novel Beautiful Gravity has also been nominated. And they'll both be at Saints and Sinners. And then Michael Tisserand. Do we love Michael Tisserand? We do. And his book, Crazy, George Harriman, A Life in Black and White, was a finalist for a National Book Critics Circle Award in biography. And he's still nominated for a PEN Award in biography, which is really wonderful for this book, which I love. I know we all love that book. And then last but not least, one very special part of the festival this year is that we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the University of New Orleans Creative Writing Workshop. Now, 25 years ago, this program was just a gleam in the eyes of Rick Barton and Joanna Leake. And over all these years, it's produced such great writers. Skip Horak, the Boydens, Amanda and Joseph Boyden, Barb Johnson, just Bill Lofelm, just wonderful writers coming out of UNO. And now it's under the more than capable leadership of Neil Walsh, who is a fine writer too. And they're doing a whole day of programming at the festival with just their students. I mean, their graduates coming back. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
5 panels, I understand,
yes,
too, next Friday.
It's really exciting. And one of the stars of that show is Jericho Brown, who is an American Book Award winning poet, Whiting Writer Award winner.
You've got some tongue twisters.
I do. And he's speaking on that conversation about race at 2:30 on Saturday. He teaches at Emory, used to be Ray Nagin's speechwriter. What an arc of a career, if you think about it. Right. And then great topics like Chinese in the Gulf South, war and fiction. There's just something for everybody. And I think it's an astonishing lineup this year.
And so excited about Michael Tisserand and his book, too.
Yes.
Wow.
It's
anyway,
like,
the list is long.
I mean, go in any room at the Hotel Montleon and somebody will be talking to you.
TennesseeWeavesFestival.net. And as a P.S., the Tennessee Weaves Festival will also be featuring many Williams plays. We're actually a theater festival too, right? It's all together, including Sweet Bird of Youth with Leslie Castay, the lesser-known Milk Train Doesn't Stop Here Anymore with Janet Shea, and many other theater offerings. Alan will discuss more next week. And once again, go to TennesseeWilliams.net for details. Also, Horton Foote's play, Dividing the Estate, opens next week at Le Petit. New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Randy Stevens told us what public project recruited many local early Irish to build and the neighborhood where many of the early workers were housed. The New Basin Canal Project in the 1830s and the Irish Channel. Now, tonight's question. With a nod to St. Joseph's Day this weekend, this lucky bean and a cookie stuffed with a certain fruit are commonly found at St. Joseph altars. What are they? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes. Tonight we have a year subscription to Louisiana Life magazine. And we have a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. And by the way, our friends at Kitchen Witch Cookbooks, they're still hosting their Hump Day happy hour every Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. You can visit wyes.org for our online calendar, and we have all kinds of wonderful events to see there. Plus, including this weekend, the Opus Ball at the Sheraton Hotel. And of course, that's honoring the LPO. Also, a list of St. Joseph altars in the greater New Orleans area. And looking ahead, a Fats Domino tribute by Al Little Fats Jackson at the Gretna Cultural Center for the Arts, and that's coming up next week. And you can also link to our WYS YouTube channel to view our program. Now to Kathleen. Kathleen, so excited for you. A Dog Steals Home. Congratulations on your new book.
Thank you very
now,
much.
This is actually for middle age.
Middle grade
Middle
children.
grade.
Yeah.
Middle-aged children.
4th, 5th, and 6th graders.
Yes. And it's certainly about a dog, but it's about a little boy who's kind of getting some life lessons along the way.
He is. He wants two main things. He wants a puppy to be a friend of his along with the older dog that lives at home. And the older dog's not as active as he would like it to be. And he's vying for the first spot as pitcher on his baseball team. But as in all stories, something gets in the way. There's a classmate, a lonely classmate that needs his help, and he has to make a tough decision that threatens his chance of getting either of those things.
Now, this is your first book. What inspired you?
When our first grandchild was born, we had a very old dog, and he became attached to that dog and just followed that dog and loved that dog. So I started to think about the relationship of a child who is born into a home where there's already a dog existing and how that relationship develops.
Now, you're going to do your launch in a unique place.
I am, but an appropriate place.
Yes.
The dog park at NOLA City Park.
City Park,
Right,
okay.
at NOLA City Park.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's this Tuesday from 4:30 to 6:30 at the dog park in City Park.
And lots to celebrate there because it's the 7th anniversary.
It is. We opened our gates 7 years ago. I love that one.
And tell us about the free library.
Yes.
Well, part of the mission of the dog park is to educate and provide recreation and education for people and their dogs, or for dogs and their people. And what better way to educate than through a library? So we decided to get a little free library. It's part of the littlefreelibrary.org, and make it all about dogs. So we have fiction, nonfiction, books about dogs, from children to adults, board books all the way to adult books.
I know little free libraries are all over the city. I mean, many of them,
my
right?
front yard.
Do you really?
Yes, there are.
And for someone though who's not used to it, who's not really aware of it, so you bring a book and take a book, or you can just take a book?
You can just take a book and then you can bring that book back, or you can drop off a few books. What's special about ours is that it is all dogs. It's about dogs, and you can tell when you look at it. Artist Stella Dupas, who is one of the permit holders, did just a whimsical job. It is so adorable with the pictures of the dogs on it, and she volunteered.
She painted.
She volunteered
the
and
little...
painted. She designed the art and painted it on, all the way down to the little dog trying to open the latch on the library door.
Charming. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Pelican, we should say Pelican
Pelican, yes,
Publishing,
yes.
locally done. But congrats. I know it's hard to put something like that together, but we're really excited for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now it's time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring Olivia Green. She's a photographer, and we want to show you photographs taken during the current season at the fairgrounds. And this is Oakwood Stables of Broken Arrows with jockey Gabriel Messias. And we've also got the horse I'm Formidable. And this black and white is titled Dreams, Railbird, and Bellboot. And we've got isn't that something? Racetrack ponies sharing water on a break between races. And her current exhibit, including these and more, opens tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Fair Grinds Coffee House. That's on Ponce de Leon, right before the afternoon races at the track. And you can find more about Olivia, and those will be up for a few weeks, but you can find more about her on her Facebook page. And now to Dennis. Dennis, busy little weekend here, including tonight.
Yes, opening night.
Opening night. We're pleased that you can be with us. So Tarzan the musical, different from Tarzan the non-musical,
Right,
of course,
right.
but why that choice? I know you decide these things.
Well, it's a fun show. It's got many technical challenges. It's a Louisiana debut. At JPAS,
swinging from ropes and stuff?
We've got many thousands of dollars invested in equipment. The overhead over the audience, Tarzan, I don't want to give it all away, but there are many creatures and Tarzan who will fly from the balcony to the stage and back. In addition to flying all over the stage itself, so it's quite a busy evening here, and technically very challenging. It's the most difficult show I've ever done in 40 years.
Really?
And I thought Mary Poppins was tough. This is tough, but it's a magical show, and it's very touching. It's a beautiful story. As we all know the story, Tarzan was raised by the apes, and Edgar Rice Burroughs actually created. They're not gorillas, they're not apes, they're their own individual species that he created called mangani. They're not gorillas, they're not apes, etc. They're mangani. And he also created a language for the mangani. And our director, Kenny Beck, has inserted some of this language into the show. So if you hear one of the actors, one of the...
Wow, look at that,
one
the
of the-
costumes. Excuse me, go ahead, I'm just amazed by it.
Yeah,
Is that Louis
let me-
Dudasat? I know Louis is in it.
Yeah,
He's been doing a lot
he is the
lately.
head gorilla,
He's the head
Manganai,
gorilla,
of the tribe, of the family.
Mm-hmm.
The costumes are designed by our own Emily Billington, who's just, and she and her costume staff have just done a marvelous job. We're so proud of this visual, the visual aspects of the show. The score is just incredible rock and roll by Phil Collins. I'm having such a great time in the pit.
So you're conducting?
Yeah. It's great,
Very
great fun in
hands-on,
the pit.
kiddo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We've got a 20-piece orchestra in the pit, so it's it really rocks. The young man who's playing Tarzan is from California. We brought him in. He's actually the third Tarzan. I had the guy who was the understudy on Broadway, and just as he was ready to sign a contract, he got a fabulous offer to do a run at the Muni. So he said, "Hey, let's do it again." I said, "Oh, we'll get you the next time." And the second guy we got from California as well, and he too got another offer. So I found this guy, and he is the best, actually.
Oh,
a wonderful human being, James Royce Edwards. He's incredible eye candy.
Well, speaking of that, would you set up, we're about to show an
Sure.
excerpt from the play, set up what we're going to see.
Well, we're gonna see the duet with Tarzan and Jane, entitled "Stranger Like Me," Strangers Like Me. She is showing him a slide presentation of outside of the jungle civilization, images of other
who
human
plays Jane?
beings
Who
and
plays?
things like that. Christian Tarzetti. She's a
great.
JPAS baby. She's come up through our program,
Oh.
and now she has a starring role
Great
in
to
the
hear.
production.
Well, thank you.
So,
Well,
Strangers
now-
Like Me.
Okay, now let's watch a scene from Tarzan, the musical.
Whatever you do, I do it too. Show me everything and tell me how. It all means something and yet nothing to me. Oh, I can see there's so much to learn. It's all so close and yet so far. I see myself as others see me. I just know there's something bigger out there. I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about these strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about these strangers like me. Every gesture, every move that she makes me feel like never before. Why do I have this growing need to be beside her? Oh, these emotions I never knew, from some other world far beyond this place, beyond the trees, above the clouds. Oh, I see before me a new horizon. I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about these strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about these strangers like me. Come with me now to see my world, where there's beauty beyond your dreams. Can you feel the things I feel right now with you? Take my hand, there's a world you need to know.
I can't explain the way I feel. Everything I want, it's here. And my heart is beating faster. Every moment I'm with him, I feel so complete. I cannot deny what I'm I'm feeling. Oh!
I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about these strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about these strangers like me.
Very exciting, Mr. Dennis. Once again, Tarzan the musical. It will be running through March the 26th at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center on Airline Drive in Metairie. Now time for our picks. Susan.
DennisCWilliams.net. Pick anything. It's
Including
all good.
Storyville, huh?
Yes,
History of
that too.
Storyville,
Wednesday
too.
night.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And Poppy.
Thursday night, the Louisiana Eats French Market Coffee Celebrity Dinner with Chef Chris Montero, cooking demo, and a dinner at SoFab to benefit SoFab.
All right, great. Kathleen.
Well, as Susan said, there's so many things. Tennessee Williams, and you wanted me to mention the book signing.
Yeah, Maple Street, huh?
At the Maple Street Bookstore on April the 1st, April Fool's Day for middle grade kids. That should be great.
Dennis.
Well, almost 5 years ago, Hurricane Isaac heavily damaged our West Wego Performing Arts Theater, and I'm excited to announce that very, very soon we'll be back in business performing
That's
there
great to hear.
as well.
Yeah, very good news. And my picks, the New Orleans Museum of Art continues this year's installation of Art in Bloom at the museum. It's in City Park, of course, through Sunday. And we would like to thank Maria K. Chetta because she dropped off some wonderful cookies that we're all enjoying of St. Joseph's Day. And, you know, they'll be available, all this most incredible Cecil B. DeMille size altar at St. Francis Xavier's annual St. Joseph altar at the church on Metairie Road. It'll be open to the public tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Congratulations to all. They work very hard over there. And a Bach birthday bash and concert featuring Emmanuel Arakelian on harpsichord. That's Sunday evening at St. Mary's Church at the old Ursuline Convent on Charter Street in the Quarter. Free admission. And the New Leviathan Oriental Foxtrot Orchestra will perform at the Marigny Opera House on St. Ferdinand Street. That's next Wednesday, March 22nd, starting at 7 p.m., one of my favorite bands. A $10 donation is suggested. And Chris Champagne will star in The Beasts of Southern Denial with music by Gina Forsyth. That will be next Thursday night at Cellos on North Holland Street in Metairie. And looking ahead, the 7th annual St. Anna's Dodwell House Extravaganza takes place next Saturday night, March 25th, with live jazz, live and silent auctions, and food and drink. Visit the website to learn more. Thank you all so very much, and thank you for watching. Good night.
Good night.